burning fruit.
Hi, welcome to this video. My name is Steve from Burning Fruit, your user experience specialist. Over the past 10 years, Burning Fruit has been creating high-performing and converting websites that have transformed businesses across Australia and internationally. We're going to be sharing with you all the user experience secrets that we've learned studying user behavior in creating these websites. If you like this content, please like and subscribe, and let's get into it.
As you have guessed, the first tool is Google Analytics, or should I say Google Tag Manager, because it's not Analytics anymore, which is a shame because Analytics was pretty easy to use. Once they switched over to Tag Manager, myself included, it all got a little bit complicated. There was a lot of data, a lot of terminology, a lot of graphs, a lot of things that just confused business owners, okay? And when you start confusing your audience, as I've been saying, if you start confusing your audience, they start bouncing away. They stop using the tools that are there to help them, okay? But I'm here to demystify a couple of things in Google Tag Manager and use a couple of really simple things that will help you. Okay, you don't have to be an expert in SEO. You don't have to be an expert in user experience. All you need to do is find what works for you. And that's really, really important. Once you find that one thing or two things that really work for you, you keep going back to it. You make a change, you go back to what you understand. Okay, don't try and understand everything, because you're never going to understand. I don't understand everything. No one's going to really understand everything about what Google Tag Manager presents. Find what works for you. Really, really important. Let's just jump in, shall we? Can you see my screen? Okay, so when you go into Google Tag Manager, you get the home screen. And it's got a few nice fancy little widgets here. It's got a nice dashboard. It's got a nice graph here. Shows you your active users, event count, new users. Shows you how many active users in the last 30 minutes. It's got some quick access hero items here, which is pretty cool. Shows you what countries people are coming from. So Australia, thankfully, is the number one. The UK, and then the Philippines. But by far and away, over the past 28 days, and we're just looking at the past 28 days, Australia is by far and away the most popular, which is great because this particular website, Venue Maestro, is all about driving the Australian population to high-end venues, which is really cool. So thankfully, most of the visitors are in Australia. It also shows you the views by page title and screen class, which is basically the title of the page and how many views it gets. It also breaks it down to what percentage it has risen or fallen over the past period. So it's all pretty good. But Steve, how do I understand behavior? Well, this is what we're going to show you. So let's just go to reports, because reports gives you a whole heap of additional data, okay? Data that you probably don't understand. Some of it you may do. In terms of user behavior, we're going to specifically look at engagement, okay, which is this tab here. From a business owner's perspective, I want to know what pages are actually working and not working on my site, pages and screens. I'm going to look at the top 50 pages on my website. This is a pretty cool graph. I've got the last 28 days here, so all of this looks pretty cool. I'm getting, I suppose, between 200 and, well, we've got a bit of a spike here. We've got about 624 visits, which is really cool, but mainly around between 200 and 500 visits, I would say, per day. 3rd of April, 2nd of April, 400, 400, 1st of April. So you can see that there are dips Friday, Saturday night. And because it's an event-driven, Friday and Saturday night tends to be a dip. Okay, so there's a dip here, that's Saturday night. Again, Saturday night, starts dipping at Friday, Saturday. So there is already a bit of a trend, which is pretty cool. It's nice to see that my first little bit of user behavior is during the week that I can understand. So if I'm going to do social media, any sort of social media, I sort of know that during the week is probably the best. On Saturday night when people are out at parties or doing other stuff, then it's probably not the best to actually waste my time doing social media. So going down the page, I can actually see some hard and fast facts. The number of views, so the search page gets 646 views, homepage 357, and so on. So these are all the landing pages and they get significant visitation. However, what is the user behavior? From this graph, the only way you can really sort of understand user behavior is sort of the engagement rate column here, which is for the search page, it's 1 minute. For the homepage, it's only 11 seconds. So they're either finding what they want within a really short amount of time, or they are not, and they're bouncing away and they're getting frustrated. Let's hope not that's not the case. Then we got the landing pages. So we got 29 seconds, 44 seconds. So anything sort of under, I would say 30 seconds, you really want to look at. 18 seconds, 41 seconds, 34 seconds. This one, private functions venue, and then search is 1 minute 23. Venue hire Perth, 32 seconds. So it's a big range. But what you really want to do is try and understand what is happening on those pages. How are those pages being engaged? From the screen, there are two ways in which you can really understand user behavior and how engaged they are. Okay, there's the hard way and there's the easy way. I'm going to go quickly just run through the hard way, but then I'm going to show you the easy way. The hard way is going to this thing called Explore. Okay, and Explore is a really, really cool tool, and I doubt many business owners really delve into the Explore functionality. But what Explore does allows us to configure different data sets so that you can actually read them the way you want. And I'm just going to create a brand new one from a blank slate. And you can see that there's a lot of terminology. I'd add a name here. This would be, I'll just put test exploration. I can add segments, so audience segments. I can add dimensions. I can add metrics. I can choose my visualization. So I can choose a table. I can choose a graph. I can choose a line graph. Then I got your rows, starting rows, end rows, nested rows. So all this, I can add a whole heap of stuff from the ground up. Okay. And it's quite confusing. You don't quite know what you're going to end up with. You can spend a long time experimenting. You can, but you don't have to. What I'm going to do is take a bit of a shortcut. So I'm going to go back to reports. I'm going to go back to pages and screens. So this is the table that I thought was relatively okay. I thought it was pretty cool. Expand it to 50 again. But what I'm going to do is click on this button here. And this will create my own exploration based on this data. And this is the data I'm interested in. You can do this with other pages that you are interested in. The tool Google Tag Manager will do is create an exploration based on the data set that you like. And as I said, you want to find something that you are used to and what you find is helpful for your business. I'm just using this because I find it very, very helpful. So what I'm going to do is click on this button here, and it's going to go straight to creating my exploration. And as you can see, I see the same columns as I did before. I've got views, active users, views per active user, event count, key events, and total revenue. Okay. I don't find the event count or key